Thank you, Ayana. Thank you for preaching the truth here today. And thank you to Corey Bush for your tireless leadership, your incredible courage to push forward on this lifeline issue. You are living proof of why we need leadership in Congress that is influenced by lived experience. And we are lucky to have your perspective, your resolve, and your spirit. Thank you, Corey Bush, for your great leadership. And again, I'm here with my partners, the great Elizabeth Warren and Ayanna Pressley from Massachusetts, and this incredible all-star cast of people who are standing up here today for those who are most vulnerable in our country. We're facing an eviction crisis where millions of our neighbors are at risk of being forcibly removed from their homes with expired federal unemployment insurance and millions of Americans still out of work. We are poised to see an historic and devastating wave of evictions in every corner of our country. But the good news is we do have the power to stop it. Let me be clear. The coronavirus pandemic has not ended, and neither should emergency actions for those who would be exposed to this disease if they were thrown out onto the streets of our country. We owe it to those millions of families who are struggling to put food on the table, keep the lights on, and keep a roof over their heads to pass the Keeping Renters Safe Act and ensure that the eviction moratorium stays in place through the remainder of the public health emergency. While Congress has already to assist people to make their rent and utility payments, only $5.1 billion has been distributed. Let me say that again. $45 billion appropriated, $5 billion given to the people.
That ain't right.
That is not right. The people are not responsible for the failures of their government. They should not be evicted because the United States government, the state governments, and the local governments did not do their job. The people who should be punished right now are the governments who have not responded to the cries from people who say that they need help for themselves and for their children. That is what this day is all about. It's to ensure that we pass the legislation that says to principally Black and brown and immigrant families who have been most adversely impacted by the coronavirus, and they are most disproportionately impacted by an eviction notice, that they are going to be protected. They did not create the coronavirus, and they did not create this crisis where the funding has not reached them to pay their landlords. Keeping Renters Safe Act will ensure renters can count on a roof over their heads, not an eviction notice at their door. That is why we are here today. There is no moratorium on the coronavirus. There is no moratorium on November arriving in 5 weeks in our country.
Yes.
There has to be a moratorium on evictions in our country to protect those innocent families from things over which they have had no control. So that's why we're here today. We thank Corey for her leadership, and my job is to introduce a great leader for all of the people every single day of the year, Alexandria Ocasio.